So what have been some of your most memorable moments in your career?
I think, man, I've had so many. You know, there are a lot of things that I've done. I think doing stand-up comedy was probably the most difficult thing you could ever do.
Okay.
I have a lot of admiration for stand-up comics because you get up and you perform and you use basically the same material every night.
Right.
One night it kills and the next night they're booing you. And emotionally, that's rough, but I think it disciplined me to, you know, all of us, you know, in this business, we have thin skin, you know, you know, our life is up there on the screen or whatever, but it made me a little bit more, I would say, more strong to deal with criticism that would come, because whenever you've been up on stage and you bombed, that is the worst feeling in the world. But one of the things that, you know, I just wasn't raised to quit.
Right.
You know, I would say, oh, I'm never going to do this again. But I just could go right back out there the next night, and if they booed me, they booed me.
Yeah.
You know. But I kind of chronicled my life behind the scenes in my first feature film called The Last Stand.
Okay.
And that kind of follows, you know, what I went through. And that movie was important to me because I sat on it for 10 years. And I wrote the script, and for 10 years I did nothing with it. Because, you know, nobody wanted to mess with it.
Right.
Because you're talking about Hollywood, you're talking about behind the scenes and comedy. And it's a drama. And, you know, most of the studios want comedies. So, you know, it did okay. I mean, it went to DVD. But to me, to this day, it's a very powerful representation of what goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood. And, I mean, during that time, doing stand-up comedy was like one of the toughest moments for me. So that's the one that I draw on and I remember the most.
Okay, so what are some challenges you have faced in your career?
The challenges? I think a lot of the challenges is that knowing who doesn't have your best interests.
Right.
Sometimes people you believe are your friends aren't. And they'll burn you. And, you know, I have been burned many times because I'm a really giving person. And to this day, I still give. You know, I haven't learned my lesson because I just don't think people are inherently all bad.
Yeah.
But in Hollywood, it's a cutthroat business, and you have people that, you know, you think that they're your friends, and then you do them a favor, and then next thing you know, you're being sued.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's the thing you have to be aware of. You know, you can say, oh, that person's my friend, but deep down, you know, they're probably not, and you shouldn't invest in them so much. Because it won't hurt once they betray you. And I don't want to come off as being like negative, but that's the nature of the business, in the entertainment business. People will step on you to get where they need to go. And sometimes you have to do that. When I lived in LA, I was pretty cutthroat because I knew what the business was all about. When I went on those auditions and all that, man, I'm like, hey man, good luck. Oh, I didn't mean it.
Right.
You know, because I want to get it. I want to get that check every week.
Yeah.
So what you have to do, but when I moved away, I was able to have a little bit more compassion for people. But I still know that, you know, people are pretty ruthless. People that are smiling in your face. I'm like, God, I hope you do well. No. People are rooting for you to fail.
Yeah.
And like, I hate to be negative, but that's what happens, and it's something you need to be aware of.
Right. So how do you deal with all the pressure in the industry? How do you cope with that?
Usually methamphetamines. Yeah, you know, I have you know, a strong wife that, you know, because I have a rule. I let something bother me for only 6 hours.
Okay.
If it's like very devastating, 6 hours is all I give it. And then I say, oh, gotta move on. You know, and it's worked for me. Because if you sit up and dwell on it, it will hamper you moving forward.
Right.
And I have found that, you know, just like you're on the radio here, if somebody makes a mistake on the radio and it slightly frustrates you, I don't go off on them. That's not me, you know, because I need you the next break. Right. Just like I have a rule on all my sets when I'm directing movies. My one rule that I have is no one is allowed to raise their voice at anybody. And you imagine telling Academy Award winner Lou Gossett Jr., hey, my only rule is you can't yell at anybody. Oh, no problem. And that's how I'm able to shoot movies so quickly.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time out your day to interview with me. And you're truly a role model for many teens.
Thank you.
Say thank you.
I appreciate it. Who's paying me? Oh,
he just left.
Oh, get him.
Want us to run him down?
Yeah, go get him. Because we're going to continue the interview until I get paid.
Do you have a movie that you would want to just kind of push directly? If you had a 30 seconds to give a commercial for it, what would it be?
I have a movie called The Under Shepherd that hopefully we'll get some distribution for. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of pushback from distributors that are scared of the subject matter. I think that the movie could cause some rift in the black church. And to me, I guess people don't want the truth. But, you know, hey, listen, if you guys get an opportunity, go to YouTube and type in The Under Shepherd and take a look at some of the clips, and you make the call.
We're good with
You go with me? All right.
Thank you so
You did a
much.
really good job.
Thank you.
You're a natural.
Thanks.
Everyone enjoyed the show tonight, and remember to tune in next week for the Azure Talk Show, where real life happens and what you say matters. And remember to follow me on Twitter at the Azure Talk Show and on Facebook at the Azure Talk Show.